Hi and welcome to this episode of the Chimp Chat, where we talk to Carl James, who is one of my instructors in the Nigel Richards Driving School, and he is currently doing some Hyrox events. He's just recently completed events, and he's found out that the chimp was taking him over at certain parts of the running section, and we look at what was happening at that point, how he can try to avoid it happening next time, and hopefully improve his time through this. We always know that the chimp looks outwards, so I explain to Carl how the model works, how it gets its information, how it looks outwards, and I then give him some ideas of how he can cope with it next time when he goes for his first solo event in Birmingham soon. And I also give him one of the most emotional statements I can ever say to anybody. It's by Theodore Roosevelt, and I get pretty emotional when I'm portraying it over to him. I really think it will help him, and let's hope this video helps somebody master some part of the chimp, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's take a look at what Carl's got to say. Hey, so welcome to the Chimp Chat, Carl James. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
That's good.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you, pal. How are you keeping these days?
Oh, busy.
Yeah, busy, and you're into these more extreme sports now, aren't we, pal?
Hyrox.
Hyrox.
Yeah, I've got the bug now. I did one in Birmingham last year, a relay. I've just done a doubles in Cardiff, and
well done.
I've got a few more booked in now.
So you've gone from relay to doubles. How did you find that, Carl?
It was a struggle because obviously in a relay you're only doing two exercises and 2 kilometers.
Right.
In a doubles you've got to do everything. All right, you can split the work up, but you've still got to do the running together. That doesn't
explain how a doubles goes, Carl. So one person starts off. You both run side by side.
Both run side by side. We go into the station, and then so for the example, the first one, ski erg. You got to do 1,000 meters on a ski erg. So, my partner Harry, I did the first 250 meters. Then he took over and did 250. And then we did 250 and 250 like that. So you get to 1,000, and then you're off again, do another run, and then come back to the station. So you just split the work half each.
I see. And was that agreed before the start, Carl? That was going to be exactly half each or quarters?
No, we agreed to it. It didn't quite work that way, but it wasn't far off. It wasn't far off.
That before the start, so that was agreed. That was half each.
Yeah, well, we got the same gym, so we'd already arranged it weeks and weeks and weeks in advance. And said, this is what we're going to do. So we had a plan and what we're going to do. But it sort of worked out well. But then again, he's 23, I'm 55. You tell me.
Okay, then. So who was there's a thing in obviously you're interested in the Chimp Paradox, Carl, and you obviously think we got the chimp, and we'll go into that in a little bit. But there's one little bit. It's called a gremlin or a goblin, and the one's the gremlin of unrealistic expectation. Was that firing off?
Yeah. He's in my head telling me what am I doing here.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
It
was okay until I started running and I was thinking, what the hell are you doing?
Okay.
You're too old for this.
Right. Okay, then. So Carl, you've read the Chimp. You've heard me. You hear me banging on a lot about the Chimp Paradox. I compare majority of things in life to the Chimp Paradox because it changed my life, as you know. So you've read the book or you listened to the book, Carl?
I've got the book and I'm listening to the audio now as well. So I listen in between driving lessons.
Okay, then. So just explain what's your knowledge of the model at the moment, then, so we know where we're starting from.
It's definitely changed the way I am with people. I'm not so angry, if somebody confronted me about something. Not like before, I would go off. I would just go off like a little dog, and causing more pain than what it's worth. But now it's like, hold it back, let him talk. I'll talk, and if we don't come to agreement, we just walk away.
Okay, that's good.
That type of thing. So like before, I mean, I've got a neighbour and we don't get on.
Oh yeah.
And he's intimidating.
Yeah.
And he used to get to me. I used to fight back. He's the one I was telling you about with the DVSA.
Yep.
Yeah. So now when he said something the other week, and I just thought, I'm better than you. I'm walking away. And I didn't say anything. I just walked away.
Yeah.
And it's taught me that. I'm thinking, I wish I'd known this, years ago. Like, but it's like, there was an incident about about 6 months ago. I come home from work, and it's popping male chauvinist at me. I come home from work, and Claire was home, and I said, "Oh, is the tea ready? Oh, I haven't done it." Well, I've been at work all day. I'm expecting this and expecting that, and it didn't cause a row, but obviously, I thought after, what a prat.
Ah, good.
Well, I thought worse than that, but I'm not going to say that on the camera.
Oh no.
But I just thought, when I sat back and I thought, does it matter if your tea's not ready? Do it together. Oh, and
Yeah.
and like the other week, she said, "Oh, I haven't done your tea." It's all right. I said, "Well, we'll sort it out. We'll do it together now."
Yeah, good.
And she said, "Well, you've changed." I said, "Well," I said, "blame that chimp." And it's definitely helped. And it's also helped in the work as well, in this job.
Yeah, yeah.
Massively.
Yeah. In what way would you just so first of all, Carl, I want to make you are you aware of the way the model works? So you've got the do you want me to go through it, or what have you learned? What can you think from the book? Because it's important to know how it works properly before we can.
In what way? Do you mean the chimp, your computer, and the human brain?
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously your human brain is working ×1.
Yeah.
And then your chimp's working at ×5, and your computer's at ×20.
Excellent. Excellent. So you know the running speeds of the three parts of the computer. Then, yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
So the chimp can where does the chimp get its information from?
Well, the human, obviously, isn't it?
No, it's not. It
Or
gets
the computer.
No, it doesn't. The
Right.
chimp gets its information, well, its initial information from the senses.
Right.
So from your eyes, your hearing, your five senses goes straight to that chimp.
Oh, I didn't know that bit.
That's because that's what it is, Carl. It's an ancient defense system mechanism within inside us all.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
Now, that, Carl, is only implemented if there's imminent danger. So if the saber-toothed tiger was jumping out the bushes at our great ancestors, then the chimp kicked in and it done one of those three things.
Yeah.
But however, if so, these days we're looking. Is there a car pulling out in a car and junction in front of us? Is there somebody running towards us in an angry manner? Have we stepped out the road with a car coming towards us? If any of those, and the chimp gets the information, nothing's got a shout in there, Carl. Your human, your computer, nothing. It will just do within that moment. It takes over completely.
Yeah.
And it'll do what it does for you to try to keep you alive. The chimp has only got two purposes in its existence, Carl. It's in us to ensure we keep safe and to show we continue living as much as we can, and to produce the next generation. That's its only today. It's there to keep the human race going, and that's what it's there for. Two purposes: produce the next generation, and to keep the current generation as safe as it thinks it can.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't see an instant danger, Carl, then it looks into the computer for a reference. And this is how Steve noticed it when he was brain scanning his patients before he wrote the book. And he was noticing that on the brain scans, when information was coming into the senses through the eyes, the taste, the smell, the hearing, there was a little flash across from one part of the brain to the other. And it was assessing. He wondered what was happening there. Then he realized it was assessing past references, past situations, and then judged on what it's seen in that computer. So you were right in a way in what you said. Yeah, it gets that information, but once it's received the current situation from its sense, yeah, it looks in there to see if we've been there before. And if we've been there before and the chimp hasn't liked it, it will have installed with emotion into the computer that we don't go there again, because we had a bad experience there, because we don't feel as if we belong there or whatever. There's been some emotional reaction there. So when it does that, then it starts producing black and white paranoid thoughts and pushing chemicals into your bloodstream then to try to stop you going there. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So unless you've got a coping mechanism to cope with that, the chimp's going to take over. It's very much like when one of our pupils stalls at traffic lights, Carl, and they lose it totally. They can't get going, and the person behind starts blowing the horn, and then what the chimp is seeing imminent danger there. It's seeing an aggressive person behind. It's trying its best to get your pupil out of the seat and into the passenger seat, and that's why I take over. Carl, you just take it. You just drive it. Try and get us away from it. That's what the chimp is trying to get your pupil to do.
Yeah.
but if we can delay that the blood flow to the chimp, this was the first thing I ever learned of the Chimp Paradox team when I done it after reading the book when I went to a live event. They told me that if you can stop, not maybe stop, but slow or halt that blood flow to the chimp and allow the human, the logical part of your brain to come into play, then there's a chance that you'll get through the situation. Okay.
Right.
There's the other part is the computer. If you've installed the computer right and the computer is programmed right, and you can do that by a certain system, then the chimp doesn't even get a look in because the computer takes over constantly. And that's where Steve gets his athletes to be competing on the computer.
Mm.
And that's a possibility of a thing you could look at, Carl, so the chimp doesn't get a look in. I can always remember Steve telling the story of Chris Hoy with one of the early athletes he worked with in the velodrome in Hallam University when he was in Sheffield, and he got Chris Hoy onto the computer, and that's how he broke the world record in the Beijing Olympics, because he was just totally on. He didn't even know the race had finished. He was still going until he seen his dad waving the Union Jack, and he done a whole lap after because he was totally on the computer.
I remember watching that.
Yeah, that's it. Steve was I think that was one of Steve's first visits to the Olympics with the UK cycling team. So he definitely had him on the computer. So so initially what we're looking at then, Cal, so just let's go now. We've just had a little bit of a chat about the workings of it and maybe got your understanding of what's happening a little bit more. You said it's in the running part, Cal.
Yeah, just when I start running, it's like I feel I could do better, but it's stopping me. It's pulling me back.
And I just dissect that sentence then, Carl. Yeah.
Mm.
What you said there, it was when I start running.
Yeah.
How long into
Yeah. How long? First couple of minutes.
Excellent. Solved. No problem at all. I had the same myself, Carl. You know, I couldn't run at the age of 48. I couldn't run from one lamppost to the next. But then I convinced my chimp that I could do it, and I ended up running ultra marathons. But I was explained, I had this very same question, but I asked it to my running trainer, Gary House. And he explained to me very well that when we start running, Carl, we get this exhaustion and the feeling suddenly we're going from 0 heart rate to an incredibly high heart rate, because you usually start quite fast. Most people do more than what they should do. Nevertheless, suddenly your whole body has got all these adrenalines pumping around because of the start, and you start going too fast. So the chimp then, Carl, actually thinks you're going to die.
Right.
So it's doing its best to stop you, pal. Did you have a bit of a light bulb moment in a person, Carl? And I'm sure I detected it there.
Yeah, you did.
What did you think?
You did, definitely.
Tell me
Yeah. So it's like obviously when you're in a stadium, you're already, you're pumped up, your adrenaline's pumped up.
Yep.
And the fact that you're going down the players' tunnel in a massive stadium. As soon as I went there, I was off like a rocket, and I knew I should have paced myself because we talked about it. Let's not go off like a train, but we did.
Yeah.
Because your adrenaline's just pumping in,
and
then halfway through, I was thinking, Christ, I'm bloody knackered already. And I'd only done one lap or something.
Well, the chimp is your survival mechanism, and if you recognise it's trying to skip you to survive, Carl, and you can manage through that period, and in the event, suddenly the chimp starts to realise we ain't going to die. We're here. We're okay. And you'll notice that you'll go past that point, Carl. But it's the chimp's job to keep you safe.
It took a while to get past that point, I'll be telling you now.
It does, Carl. Yeah.
It took me at least half an hour.
Well, so, yeah. Okay, then. So is the first thing you got to do run? Or is it a safe?
Yeah. No, you've got to do a run. You've got to do a 1K run.
Well, that doesn't take you half an hour, does it?
No, but when you're doing 8K in 8 stations, it takes you more than half an hour.
No, I know that. I understand, yeah. So
it took, I was I would say about 3 or 4 stations, 3K in. Okay. Then it started thinking, it started getting easier. But there was still someone in my head saying, what are you doing here? You know, you see all these guys, and I'm not joking, it's like they're running around with bloody shirts off,
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
just like Adonis's. And there's me, like the 50-year-old fat with bloody boobs bigger than a woman.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm so out, you know, I'm thinking, I shouldn't be here. Why am I doing this for? I'm just, you feel like, I felt like a laughing stock in a way. I know nobody was laughing at me, but I felt like people were looking at me saying, look at this idiot here. But
I know exactly the same thing, Carl. When I started running, where did I run to start with? I wouldn't go out till it was dark. I wouldn't run near my home. I went to the corner where those Salvation Army bins are in Morrison's car park.
yeah.
Then I run right-handed down towards the level crossing. Yeah, and then I would sneak up through past the hospital, hope nobody see me on the road. I was dark, I had a coat on, I had a hat on. My thoughts was exactly the same, Carl. Yeah.
When I see myself running, I'm like, oh my God, I look awful. What are people thinking of me? Plodding like, you know, you see these bloody, you know, even you see him, you know, running normal, and there's me plodding off like an old man.
There's plenty of other people doing it, isn't there, at the same time, Carl? Yeah.
Yeah, but when they're 20, 30 years younger than you,
yeah,
and they're flying around like no tomorrow.
But let's have a look, Carl. Carl, the chimp always, never, ever looks inward. Ever. It's a defense mechanism, so it's looking outwards. It never looks inwards, Carl, at your values and your morals and what you want out of life. Yeah, it never looks inwards. It always looks outwards. So to defend that, Carl, to improve that, really, we would have to, and you couldn't do it now, but we'd have to do it over a period of time. It doesn't really need to be doing, because you didn't actually exit the frigging stadium and go home, did you?
No. I finished it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
I finished it.
You're proud enough sending the finisher's badge into our WhatsApp group, weren't you?
Yeah, I didn't show you my time because I wasn't proud of that.
Yeah.
No, I was disappointed in myself because I thought I could do better.
Oh, well, there's the chip. There's the gremlin of unreal expectation. Where did we get this judgment of what good and bad's from?
Well, I thought I was too slow for him.
But did he?
No, he didn't say that.
Was he encouraged to keep going?
We did do an extra lap than what we needed to do, because he said we need to do an extra lap, and I was counting. And I said no, we need to go in. But I thought if we get a penalty, it's going to cost more than what doing an extra lap is. So we did actually do an extra lap. So I thought that it's in my mind then, as well, because obviously I thought I don't want to do an extra lap then.
You've got to take your average lap time off your finish time, haven't you, pal? One average lap.
Yeah, but
where does that put you?
Well, we got 136. If we take the average off, so it'd be 135. No, sorry, it'd be 133. But I felt that I stopped a lot and I didn't need to. I thought, the gym was saying, "Oh, you need a break. You need to stop."
Where did you stop, on the running or the station?
We just stopped running, but we carried on walking.
Okay.
Like normally, I can do 5K without stopping. I can go from here to 5K and I wouldn't stop. But just taking it easy. A bit of running and then keep running though.
Yeah.
But I felt I was running, and then I get to a certain point and I think, oh, we need to walk here. And when I come back round to the same point in the next lap, I need to stop here.
No,
I need to walk.
Yeah.
And it was always in the same area, away from the crowd. Because as you're going in, they were facing you.
Yeah.
So I used to walk at the back so they couldn't see me.
And
I was embarrassed in a way, thinking I've got to walk here. Loads of people walking. For some reason, my head was telling me, you look at it.
Chimp's looking outwards, pal. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looking outwards. And I don't think it's just you, Carl. I think I would have walked there if we needed to on the back stretch. And Carl, I've done it myself. Coming into Ambleside on the Lakeland 50, I knew where I was. I knew I was coming in, and I walked right up until the point that I come out the woods to make sure that I could run through the village. And 38 miles into the 50-mile Lakeland, but I definitely knew. I definitely know where you're coming from there, Carl, because I wanted to run through that village. That's your chimp is looking outwards, Carl. Things should be being judged at all times.
Yeah.
One thing I've done, Carl, on ultra marathons, and I've told some marathon runners to do it as well. And Gary's implemented it sometimes in his training as well. Is that I always divide a marathon or an ultra marathon into three, and there's three different parts of your chimp system operating. This is not you wouldn't find this in any chimp book. You wouldn't find this. Is just my own personal experience. Well, the first third, if we divide a marathon or an ultra marathon into, so say we were doing a 60-mile run, yeah,
Yeah.
mile ultra marathon. The first 20 miles, yeah, you'd be judging, or the first 6 mile, whatever, 7 miles of a marathon. Your chimp is judging you by the people who are going around you.
Yeah.
It's you against the person in front of you.
Mm.
Why is that? Why has he gone past me? I look much better. I should be beating that person. I should be beating it. Yeah. So, and I'm afraid when you are within that environment, you're not on an ultra marathon. You're not up on the mountains on your own. You're in a stadium where you're thoroughly exposed there, Carl. So everything. There's constantly people around you. There's never that judgment. There's never
No.
that escape, is there, Carl? So
No.
Chimp was looking at the only escape we can ever do is when we're out of sight round the back here.
Yeah.
Don't look
That's
back.
exactly what it was.
That's what it was doing, you see, Carl. So it's judging you against the other people. Now, as you get more into that, then it becomes you against the course. The middle part of a marathon is you against the course because the chimp gets tired. It gets so tired that it doesn't care for a toss. As long as you're bloody moving, it doesn't care what you're doing. It's give up. The chimps give up. And it's handed it over to the human. So the human is the logical part of your brain. And then you think, well, I'm just over halfway now. I've done more than what I need to do. You start logically working it out. And in the end, the human gets, as the whole body starts to go into complete bloody meltdown, you're only left with a computer. And it's the computer that gets you home.
Mm.
Yeah. You're running solely on, because there's nothing left. The chimps give up, it's gone. As far as it concerns, you're dying. So, and it just leaves you alone. The logical part you bring, you're not thinking logically. It's when you go into hallucination or whatever, or you just don't know where you are. You're just trying to beat the course itself.
Yeah.
At the end, it's the computer that'll get you to the finish line. So,
Yeah.
but I'm afraid in a Hyrox, from what you've told me, I've never experienced it myself, but I hope to one day. You're in that arena, and the judgment. So you're basically in the first part of a marathon all the way through to the end of a marathon, aren't you? Really?
Yeah. You're being watched.
Yeah.
You're being watched, aren't you?
But
You're watched by people you haven't got a clue who they are, but they're still watching you.
Exactly, Carl. That's the next thing I was going to come to. If you want to prove that chimp wrong and you want to master that chimp, Carl, you've got to do what Steve says in the model. You've got to take it to court, Carl, and prove it wrong. Which one of those people are judging me? Which one is going to decide where I finish up in this field? Not one of them. When you realize that all those other people, they're most probably looking for one of their teammates to actually cheer them on.
Yeah.
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 So you know where I'm going to be standing in London on December the 6th, don't you?
Yeah, right in front. You'll have to follow us around.
Right
But,
on the back.
I mean, there was while we were doing the run, there was one person from that I actually knew in that stadium. I know many people in that stadium.
And what did it matter, Carl?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I feel like it's because it's been in there, it slowed me down thinking, what are you doing there? You need to stop here.
Hold on.
Just go for the walk. Just take a walk.
I'm going to cure this now. Got your phone. Oh, you're on your bloody phone, though, aren't you?
Well, I'll get on the laptop.
Hold on. And I need to send you a WhatsApp message.
Okay.
Or I might, hang on. How do I find it? Oh. I got it. Got it. Hold on. Oh, no. Yeah. Have you got your phone there? Or can you get on a WhatsApp without losing the Zoom or not?
Should do. Should do. I
The-
mean, I have had a WhatsApp through, so it should be okay.
Right then. I'll try and send it to you now.
Well, if you just mute this or just pause it for a minute, and I'll go on my laptop and I'll join you on there if you want.
It's okay. I don't know how to pause it, Carl, so we won't do that.
No, you're worse than me.
That's a bloody record on it, kid. I'll read it out to you then. I'll send it to you as well. All right.
Okay.
This is by Theodore Roosevelt, an American politician. Yeah. Okay. It
I
is
know,
not the
yeah.
critic, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done better, could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs not to come short again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in an unworthy cause. At the best, he knows the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who is the worst. If he fails, at least he fails by daring greatly to do what is done. So his place is not within the cold, timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
Yeah. Right.
That you in the stadium there, Carl, you are better than the people who are standing outside.
Mm.
Who are they to judge, Carl? Because they're not even doing it.
No.
Do you understand that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the ones that they're the timid souls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what you've got to realize when you are there, Carl, in that stadium, you're better than everybody who's judging you, or you think is judging you. Whereas in fact, nobody's judging you because they're all looking for the friends coming round.
Yeah.
They really want to be you.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they want
to
to
be.
be.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. It's very true.
Whether
that.
you walk, run, you're doing better than the ones who are not doing it.
Yeah.
But you have to adopt that and get that onto your computer. You have to read that. I've sent it. Has it come through?
It has come through. I'll read it. Yeah.
Yeah. Read that.
I have had it
quite a few times and put that onto your computer. Because so that when the chimp looks in there, it sees that, Carl. It sees that you're doing better than them outside of the ring, and they're all cheering for you anyway.
I'm gonna write it down and leave it in my car.
Yeah, and have it in your car. And
Yeah.
it's the same when people who are learning to drive, Carl. They're better than the ones who are at home thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
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 One who comes and just makes all the mistakes every week is still better than the person who's never applied for the provisional license and who says you're stupid learning to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had that conversation a few times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you would do. But it's far better to be in that arena and fail, or you think you failed. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say I failed, but I feel disappointed. I wouldn't say failed. I would say disappointed. When I finished, I was open to be, jubilant, elated, but I just felt, I kept saying to him, "Sorry, mate. I'm sorry, mate." And I kept saying, he said, "Don't be sorry. You've done nothing wrong." But my chimp kept saying, "You shouldn't be doing this. You should be, trying to not force me to stop, but it did say, oh, you need to slow down here because we can't be seen here. You can slow down here. Yeah. Can't see you."
But if you understand it's a survival mechanism, Carl, and it's knowing now that you know you're going to run past the crowd and you're not going to be able to stop. So it's preparing you. Carl, Steve calls it your inept best friend. Your best friend will be saying, like, "Carl, go slow here, have a walk here," and you look bloody a hero going past that crowd then. That's what it's saying to you, Carl.
Yeah.
And then once you've done it once you've installed it, stopped there once, every time you come back to that spot, it'll say the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because when we're doing the actual stations, it was fine. I mean, the only one I would say he did more on was what they call burpee board jumps. And if you did one, it'll kill you.
What is it?
We're going to do it. Basically, you bounce up in the air. So you got your hands on the floor. You put it's like a press up, and then you got to bounce up and jump.
All right.
Have a look on have you got Instagram?
Yeah.
have a look on Hyrox on Instagram. You got all the stations that tell you what.
Oh, okay, then I'll have a look. Yeah,
Tells you what
is it
to
something
do.
like burpee type of thing?
It's the same as burpees, but you're jumping.
You're jumping, right?
So you got to jump 80 meters. But obviously, it's so what it was split into six laps. So I did two. He did one, then I did one, then he did one, then I did one, and I was. It said it was in my head then saying, "Oh, you can't do any more. You're knackered and all this." I wasn't, but I just felt like I was knackered, and I took the selfish way out, and I said, "Oh, Addy, can you do an extra lap? I can't cope."
Yeah.
But then everything else we split between the two of us.
Yeah.
I mean, we got things like what they call farmer's caddies. You got two big dumbbells, 24 kilo each, and I was flying on that like course, like no tomorrow. He said, "Will you slow down?"
Yeah. Ah,
Didn't
there we
bother me.
are then.
Rowing machine.
Well, everybody, you've got to go to your strengths. I remember when I worked with Lee Thomas in COVID. He was he's a Welsh Ironman. He wanted to get through to the Ironman finals, and he was the first person I ever done a chimp chat with. And we had to look because to qualify for because our overall objective was to get him to the World Ironman finals last year, and I had to go. That's why I was asking you so many things about the actual Hyrox itself, because to manage the chimp properly, you have to know what the person's going through. With Lee, we had to find out what was his strength. Was it the swimming? Was it? I can't. To be honest, with you, I was trying to remember. I think it was the swimming was his least one. I don't know. I can't think anyway. Yeah, one of them was his least one. So we had to go through all the qualifying rounds. Yeah, and we found a few ones that played to his strengths. With a bit of an easier, we'll take it was swimming, I don't know, but it was a bit of an easier swim, this one, on that one. So that played to his strength, and the bike ride was a bit more suited towards him. We looked at the courses and all that, and then I think we got it down to 2 or 3, and he chose one of them. And last year he got straight through to the World Ironman finals in Hawaii.
Wow.
Somewhere like that it was, yeah. But that's how we got him there. So what we can do with the same with you now, Carl, is you've just named some things there. The the exercise that you said you asked your partner to do an extra thing on is, that's where you need to put your efforts into that. You don't need to be walking around with 224-kilogram dumbbells like a farmer's walk or whatever, because you can do that, don't you, Carl?
Yeah.
So you have to analyze what you're doing. When I done my runs, I always analyze my runs, because this comes from when I competed in the car racing. I always analyzed every race. I've got a book here now, and I had every tire pressure, every gear ratio I used, what diff I used on certain tracks, and I had all that written down. So I could always analyze that. When I started running, I started analyzing my runs, and Gary House, who was training me, said, "What the hell are you doing?" But then he enjoyed it, because I used to have a Zoom call with him and analyze how I felt, just like you're doing with me now. And then we used to break it down, and then in the end he ended up doing it for his ultramarathons. We used to break it down.
Yeah.
And then he understood how his chimp worked then, you see. And I always remember one where he was it was a 24-hour race. Who could run the furthest in 24 hours? The middle of the night, the chimp would give up. I don't know. It was on his computer, and the chimp come back in strong for some, must have triggered some reason. But he knew he needed to get the blood flow back to his. Well, he had an idea that he needed to halt this chimp blood flow, so he went into a toilet and sat there for 20 minutes, and that gave the chimp. The chimp calmed down, got back in its box, and the human, the logic, and he said, "Can I put one foot in front of the other?" And he got out, and then he ended up winning the 24-hour race. He could have quite easily tried to carry on and gone back to his tent, and that the chimp would have kept him there. But because he delayed the blood flow whilst he was out on the course, he still managed to carry on,
Yeah, I think that's what the problem I had was the fact that I didn't give myself. So before the race, I didn't give myself time out of it. I sat there and had a coffee and I was watching it. So it didn't. What I should have done was gone at the stadium and just had half an hour to myself, or 10 minutes to myself.
Yeah.
And just come away from all everything that was going on there.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We just we sort of warmed up, went on everything, and then straight into there.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe so. That wants to be a tactic for London, then, doesn't it, Carl? You need to be.
It wants to be a tactic for Birmingham first.
Oh, Birmingham, sorry, the first one. Yeah.
Birmingham's a solo.
Yeah,
on my own.
Is it solo? Is it? Yeah. Is that in October? Is it? Or?
That's in October. Yeah, end of October, that one.
So that there's going to be some lonely old spaces in there then, pal, right?
Yeah.
That's why you got to prepare.
This is where the chimp needs to be, in the box.
Yeah, we need to keep it in the box somehow, Carl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
we need to have a method of delaying. What I've used, Steve uses the helicopter to method, which is in the chimp and I've used it no end of times, and I've used it with pupils on the pre-test lesson when I've seen the chimps been getting a grip on them. And what the helicopter method is, Carl, that you recognize when the chimp is taking over, and then you pause. You imagine a big red stop button on your head.
Mm.
Just pause it, and take a breather. Stop your activity for a second, yeah. And that means stopping, so you're not defeating it or slow it down, just to get the blood flow. Then think of yourself in a helicopter going up above the stadium, looking down onto the stadium, and look what tiny, tiny little minuscule part of your whole life this is.
Mm.
And gain some logic in there. I done this, Carl, on the Lakeland 50-mile race, yeah. There's a if anybody ever watches this and they know they hear the word Fusedale, they'll know what I mean, because it is the most cruelest ascent I've ever done. Gatesgarth Pass is after Fusedale, and that's quite hard, but Fusedale has got 3 false summits, Carl, because you look at this in front of you and you think, I'm never going to get there. But when you get there, Carl, there's another, and you just hit despair. Yeah, and when you get there, what's after that one, Carl?
Another.
It's honestly, Carl, I've never had something so demoralizing in my life as Fusedale. And I'd done it in a recce's. I'd been on a practice day, but on that Saturday morning, it's about a third, no, about just under a third into it. You hit Fusedale. You know it's coming. So I was going up Fusedale second ascent, and I knew there was a third to go. And the chimp was starting to kick in. I could hear somebody coming behind me. I could hear the breathing. I could hear the footsteps. You know what I mean? I was trying to keep motion, kind of keep it going. Clyde was saying, "You absolute idiot! What are you doing here? This person's trying to get past you. Don't let them pass. You look a fool." Exactly the same thoughts as what you said there, Carl. Yeah. But I had the helicopter method, Carl. I brought it in. Yeah. I just paused for a moment. I let that person pass me. I took that moment as my red stop button. I took a helicopter. I flew up above Fusedale. I looked down. What the hell would you? It's a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon now, because you started at 11, so it's about 12:30, 1 o'clock when I was there. It's a lovely Saturday afternoon in July. What would you be doing now if you was at home? You'd be sitting next teaching somebody to learn to drive what you've done 1,000, a million times in your life.
Yeah.
But you're here, you're in a wonderful location. You're doing something that you've trained for 2 years to do. And it just shrunk it all down, Carl. And I carried on. And on the third ascent, I passed that person, because I shrunk it all down and got it all into perspective. So when you're in like Birmingham or London in particular, when you're on your own, Carl, just shrink it down. Think, what the hell? I've trained for this. I love it. I'm part of this community.
Yeah. Well, I can do it when I'm doing the 10Ks, because obviously I've got a couple of 10Ks coming up. I've got the Wrexham 10K. I've got the one in Helena Tipping you done.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm doing the Chirk as well.
Excellent.
So I can do it on that. But I can also do it in the gym, because when we're doing like in the Hyrox sessions in the gym,
exactly.
or even in the gym doing whatever, and I can do it then. Or even just going out for a run, I can look at myself thinking, never used to do this.
Oh, exactly. Well, yeah. And then you're coming off the computer, you see, Carl, because the computer runs at times 20. And you're thinking, why am I really doing this? I'm doing this because I might never get the opportunity to do it again in my life.
No.
At our age, Carl. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So you've got to make that moment. You've got to get that powerful computer part in there and sort it, Carl. And that's what it does.
That's why I'm doing the job I'm doing now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It does, yeah. Because
if I listened with the chimp, I would have still been a truck driver at Web Oil or Willis's or whatever.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. Yeah.
Telling me, what you're working for yourself for. You got a job there. You got holidays. You got pay. What do you want to do it on your own for?
Yeah, you're right, Paul.
So I didn't. Obviously, I didn't know about the chimp then, but I did have a lot. I remember I wrote. I had a book and I put pros and cons, and I wrote on my pros what it could, and I wrote on my cons.
Yeah.
And I thought, whatever one's going to be more, that's what I'm going for. And thank God it was the pros.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Yeah.
What part of your brain were you working with then?
Just, I don't know, really. It was just, obviously, it was self-doubt, wasn't it?
Well, that's your human, because you worked it out
Yeah.
logically. Remember, the human works with logic.
Yeah.
And the human can program a computer as well, Carl. But that
Mm.
programs it with logic. Yeah,
Mm.
logical, proven. It looks for truth and proofs. So what you've done there,
So it was like a stone of life in a way, then, really.
it is,
Yeah.
yeah. Stone of life is deeper within, though. We
Yeah.
don't stone of life properly. But basically, they were using the human there. The chimp was allowing you to go, but it needed a bit of permission. Yeah. So then the pros and cons, you're logically installed into your brain. Then that it was better to become the driving instructor with the nerds than it was to stay with Willis's. You
Yeah.
added the logic up, so it allowed then. So then, when the chimp looked in the computer, it seen the logic.
Yeah.
The human had installed in there.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, pal.
Mm. Thank God it did.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way it works, Carl. You know, you're at such an advantage if you know what's happening between your ears, Carl.
Mm.
You know, does any of these kids that we learn to drive, do they need to know what a fuel injection system is, a clutch, a differential, a gearbox? Do they?
No.
They don't. But because they know what a clutch, a gear stick, a steering wheel, accelerator, and a brake are, they can make a car do whatever they want.
That's it, yeah.
Similarly, you can do whatever you want in life, Carl, because you know what's happening. If you know what's happening in your brain, you similarly make your pupils do whatever you want in life. In the driving, when you're in that car with them, if you understand what part of the brain they're coming from,
Yeah.
and keeping them in that part of the brain, Carl, yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Operating on the human or the computer, try and get them to recognize more. I haven't got many pupils now, but all the pupils who've been with me, they all recognize the chimp. They're very
I have mentioned the chimp a lot of times.
Yeah, they do.
I
Well,
mean,
you see that girl that we took out, didn't you? You know that one.
Yeah, really. I got a lad that's got his test the end of this month. He named his chimp after his best mate.
Did he? Yeah.
He said, I like him, but he's a pain in the neck. I said, well, yeah, that's the other fan.
That's a good way to describe your chimp. I love me chimp. He's always there trying to protect me.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass because he won't let me really do what I want to do in life.
Yeah. I can't remember what he called him now. It was his best mate anyway. But he's got his test at the end of the month. And I wouldn't have thought he'd be ready. 4 or 5 months ago, I would have said, no, you're not ready yet. But he's just, as soon as he mentioned the Chimp Paradox and I started reading it properly, I thought, I need to mention this. I mean, you said about Millie.
Yeah.
Maddie was the same. The girl that you sat in the when I phoned you up and said, you sit in with this one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she failed the first test. She was a bit too close to the truck in front of her on the dual carriageway, but
yeah.
She's still plodding on. We're just waiting for the date. That's all.
That's good. Excellent.
Yeah, it's just. But I do mention the chimp a lot.
It's a powerful thing, and that's the way I thank Steve Peters, because he's made it. Psychologists know how this works all the while. Do you know what they know about it? Because they studied all the intricate parts of the brain. But to simplify it down to a simple driving instructor from bloody Wrexham can understand what's happening between his ears and change his life. It's bloody. I thank him forever for that.
Well, yeah.
That's his gift to mankind, really, for me.
Yeah.
He's done it. He's allowed people to understand their thoughts, feelings, and actions, and create whatever they want in life.
Well, I dare say if he wasn't around, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Oh no, you're right, pal. Yeah.
You'll probably still be on your own.
Yeah. I would be. Yeah, definitely. You're
what about 40 driving instructors on the road?
That's what it took. But it took that to do it. You see, Carl. Yeah?
Me and Jamie were working out the other day how many it was since the last photo shoot. How many extras?
Yeah, well,
do you know how many extras you got?
Yeah, I have got a list.
But 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
10 more.
We'll see. We'll see next Thursday. Or next Friday, and they all turn up in the thing. It'll be a good day, and I enjoy that day, and I enjoy the Christmas tree, and that's why they're 6 months apart.
Yeah,
difference every year. So
yeah,
we'll do that. Right, pal. I'm gonna get some tea now. So it's been wonderful to have a chat with you, Carl.
Thank you very much for that. It's really helped me. That has.
I would definitely like to do it again before Birmingham, or maybe thinking one little thing I would like to mention. I just remembered that I done with my chimp, Carl. I was trying to run 1 mile non-stop around the hospital. I told you the way I was going. I was parking by the Salvation Army bins and running right-handed over the level crossing. And as I took the rise up that past Wrexham Hospital, I had to walk up that very slight gradient every time, Carl. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hardly a gradient, is it?
No.
But my chimp crippled me at the end of there every time, Carl. Yeah. Oh,
Mm.
every time I got to that spot, I had to walk because the first time I walked, yeah, and that's
Mm.
what's happening with you. So what did I do to cure it, Carl? And what did the chimp team advise me to do?
I know what you did because I heard it on your podcast.
Yeah, run the other
You
way.
went the other way. That's why. That's like me going past the buggy club in Burneston when I'm coming back home.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that road, the old Burneston road. Right? It's a big hill going up.
Yeah, there is.
I walk up the hill.
Yeah.
I need to run up the hill.
Yeah, but you go the other way round.
Go the other way around.
Yeah.
Because you're going downhill and then it'll play with your mind when you go the next. Yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately, in a Hyrox, you can't do that because you're governed on which way you can go, Carl.
No, you're flat anyway, so it's not, there's no hills there.
No, but no, you know, how can I say? You can't go the other way around and like go to that piece where you're hidden from the crowd last or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You're governed, aren't you? So we can't do that. Maybe we can find some coping mechanism that can help the chimp do that. We'll have a think about it before our next.
Well, I know Birmingham, you can see all down, so it's not going to be. I'm not going to have that escape. No. I know for a fact I'm not going to have that minute on my own.
But if you can, what I've just sent over the Thea Roosevelt's thing, which
yeah, I will.
You remember that, Carl, and install that. Think about it and really think about what it says.
Yeah.
You're not one of the meek souls who's not in there. You are in there, pal. And all them meek souls, the other side of that barrier, want to be you.
Yeah.
They can't, though. But they want to be you. That'll be more powerful than anything you can ever do if you install it properly.
But,
install it on the computer, you have to repeat it and think about it, Carl. Repetition at all times.
Yeah.
Print that off, get it on your phone screen or something where you see it every day.
Oh, I'll put it on my phone. I'll write it out as well. Yeah. So I'll write it out and put it on.
Analyze every word of what it says because it's one of the best statements I've ever read, Carl, in my life.
It's like when I go to the gym and they say, "Oh, you did a Hyrox." Yeah. Ooh, I'd never do one of them.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
You've done it, haven't you, pal? Definitely.
Yeah. But at the time, I didn't feel like it was any big deal, really. I just thought it's one of them. But then when you finished, and I thought, 136. I mean, I don't know why I was disappointed because I said because they ask you for an estimated time when you book your tickets, and I said 130 plus. So I got it, but at the time, I just felt like I was holding him back.
Yeah.
So I thought,
anybody back in the thing, will you? If he's doing solo?
Nope, I'm on my own.
It's just you, kid. So you better get it managed.
Yeah. But it's been. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure, Carl. Loved it, and that's why I was glad we could do it here rather than over a cup of coffee because I think it's great. And maybe if I put it on the internet, it'll help other people. If we help somebody in some way,
absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl. See you soon.
Okay. See you soon.
I'll see you next Friday.